It's officially the end of the road for Game Informer. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we've got a somber one because one of the last major monthly gaming magazines, Game Informer, is officially shutting down. In fact, it's already shut down. The doors are closed, the employees are laid off, and GameStop is the company that pulled the trigger, largely without employees even being told ahead of time, which is up on so many levels. Now, this video isn't meant to be an in-depth analysis of the situation or an uninformed opinion of what could have been done to save the company or a commentary on how GameStop is continuing to nosedive directly into the ground and unfortunately took Game Informer with it. Instead, this is me sharing what Game Informer meant to me and what I think it means to an entire generation of gamers that are out there today. Because without Game Informer, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, sitting here talking to you about video games on the internet. When I was growing up in the early 2000s, social media platforms literally weren't a thing. Sure, you had online websites and forums where people would get together and talk about video games, but if you wanted researched and polished news updates on upcoming games, news consoles, or the biggest E3 announcements, magazines were the way to go. At least they were for me. You had GamePro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, the official PlayStation magazine, Xbox magazine, Nintendo Power. Anytime my mom would go to the grocery store, I would beeline directly over to the magazine section to see if they had the latest edition of any of these. And then while she was shopping, I would literally sit down on the floor and thumb through screenshots and first impressions of games that I wouldn't be able to play for months. And my parents didn't have a cable package that included stuff like Tech TV, which would eventually become G4, and didn't even upgrade to high-speed internet that could stream video until I convinced them to let me play Modern Warfare on my PlayStation 3 in 2008. These magazines were my lifeline to the heartbeat of the gaming industry. And as great as it was reading those magazines while mom shopped, nothing was as good as opening the mailbox and seeing a fresh Game Informer. It didn't matter if I was at the beach on vacation, poolside with my family during the summer, or just hanging out in my bedroom. The latest Game Informer was never too far away. They felt like monthly letters from the front lines, written by these people known as gaming journalists that would cover the latest and greatest from industry events, go hands-on with some of the biggest games of the year, and let me know if they were good and share sneak peeks of new consoles. The thought of being one of those people was amazing. To be invited by a company to try a game early and share coverage with the world sounded too good to be true, but after years of reading stellar coverage from Game Informer and eventually seeing people like Adam Sessler, Blair Herter, Morgan Webb on G4, I really felt like that could be my calling. I wanted to be a gaming journalist, like these people that I'd grown up reading. So I went for it. I started college as a communications major with a focus on mass media, minoring in journalism. And from day one, my goal was to land a job at Game Informer, IGN, GameSpot, whoever would have me, and then totally uproot my life to make that happen. That's about the time that I started taking this YouTube channel seriously, going through tons of rebrands and just putting myself out there to get comfortable being on camera and build a name for myself. I learned how to shoot and edit, got a better idea of what did and didn't work for my content style, and slowly but surely started building an audience. And all the while, even though this channel was growing by a few people here and there, the goal was still to make it big and get into gaming journalism. It's what I'd always dreamed of. And then reality set in. Graduation was about a year away, and I had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. It was either keep going after that dream and get into massive debt to make the leap towards what I'd always wanted to do, or play it safe, stay in my hometown near my family, and keep pursuing that passion with my own content creation while also living the normal life. And I went with the latter. No regrets. Obviously, I built something awesome here on YouTube and on TikTok and all of the other platforms that I connect with you all on, but my dream of being a gaming journalist lives on through this channel and the stuff that I do every day. So with all of that background, the thing that I love the most about Game Informer, other than the great work that they put out up until the very end, is that those are the people that made it. Those are the people that went all in on the thing they were the most passionate about. They put in the time to keep the magic of a print magazine alive and simultaneously built up a stellar website and podcast. And beyond that, Alex Van Aken has been a huge inspiration for me personally and led a huge video content push that resulted in stuff that could rival the no-clip crew when it comes to documentary-style videos. No matter what you were reading or watching, no matter if you were on gameinformer.com or reading the print magazine, that team was putting out great content. But the writing had also been on the wall for months that this is how things would end up. Game Informer had literally just launched a new print subscription that started at $19.91 per month, to pay homage to the year the magazine launched. But GameStop had cut the print copies for most subscribers a year or two earlier, and even though this felt like a potential redemption arc with Game Informer regaining control over their distribution, the social feeds had this underlying impending doom kind of feel. They'd been pushing this physical subscription a lot in the weeks after its release, and staff had been doing doing all they could to get the word out there. I subscribed and don't regret subscribing even now. $20 for physical copies of the magazine and to support the team after so much time went into creating quality content was a no-brainer. But even so, the times have changed, and the quality writing and reporting at Game Informer has kind of become a relic of the past. A lot of gaming news websites have basically become a dumping ground for listicles, how-to guides, and content that farms SEO with the occasional piece of good reporting sprinkled in. Now, reporters like Jason Schreier at Bloomberg and Stephen Totillo at GameFile are doing some fantastic investigative work, and their links are going to be down below if you want to give them a look. And the same can be said for some articles on IGN, GameSpot, Eurogamer. There are great people doing great work, but they're fighting to keep it going in this sea of AI-generated stuff. Beyond that, social media is how people get their news. People find stuff on X and Threads, and then commentators like me talk about it on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. That's the news cycle. That's how people get their information. And sure, podcasts like Kinda Funny Games Daily and IGN's network of coverage also drive plenty of listens and keep people in the loop, but the days of relying on websites to keep people informed and drive clicks through quality written content and reporting are a thing of the past, let alone a print magazine that people only get once per month. All of this is to say that the end of Game Informer marks the end of an entire era. Just like E3 shutting down and officially calling it quits earlier this year, or G4 closing down, coming back, and closing down again, I feel like we're watching the things that made so many of us fall in love with gaming and this industry just disappear, and at the same time we're trying to hang on to this little piece of nostalgia of cracking open a Game Informer on Saturday morning to read about a new game. To the Game Informer staff, both that got let go this week and those that worked to make the outlet what it was through the years, thank you for the memories, because reading those magazines built a love for gaming in me that's going to last a lifetime. And without you, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I know I'm not alone in that.